just a little bit, just short, a really shortened version of my testimony and our vision and mission of Grace and Strength. It's hard to short form it. I was trying to think of like, how can I short form this tonight? But for myself personally, I grew up very healthy, meaning my parents definitely taught us how to eat healthy, although that they were kind of heavy side, but I was very much into working out and exercising, into a lot of sports, and did that, you know, even after my 3 daughters and so on. And it was in, let's see, 19, when did I go back? I can't remember the dates now. Isn't that bad? I think it was yes, it was 1994, so I'm dating myself here, but went back to college to get my business degree. That was just one aspiration that I really had to prove to myself and so on. And during that time, you know, I have 3 daughters, and so you're a mom to 3, going to college full-time, as well as working part-time, and self-employed husband, and all you women probably know what that would entail. And so I did that in '94, and fast forward into 1998. And I guess let's just back up a little bit. In that time, of course, if you guys are moms and you know and what it takes to run all that kind of stuff, all of a sudden, from going to the gym almost every day, with my youngest daughter really thought that the gym was her daycare. Like, she was like, thought that was where she went to nursery school. It was just kind of funny. And so all that stopped because you didn't have time. You know, now I'm in college every day and I'm doing all those things, so I put myself last, and which I thought was normal. I mean, we're a mom, right? That's what we do. We take care of our children, we take care of our husbands and our home, and there wasn't time in the day for me to go exercise and so on, and really thinking that that would be selfish if I took that time away. Well, it took its toll on me. I had never had a weight issue. I had never dieted. I had never done anything like that. I just, you know, never had to do anything that, never really even thought about it. And I ended up gaining 40 pounds in that time. Just, you know, eating out of convenience and emotions and all kinds of different things. Ended up on January 28th, 1998, where I couldn't breathe. We were at a restaurant. We happened to be had traveled to Nashville, Tennessee, and I'm at a restaurant, and I really felt like I couldn't breathe. And I was telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong, but I really can't breathe and so on. And we knew, at least it was our second visit there, and knew that there was a hospital so close by, and we went there, and thankfully, I mean, the Lord knew, it was the Vanderbilt Hospital, which is an awesome hospital, and got there, and I was in fatal condition. My oxygen level was fatal. They thought I was having a heart attack. Long story short, I'm here, so it's all good, but that scare really changed me. Just to think that, you know, my girls, everything I was doing all of that for and putting them first, they almost didn't have their mom. And so it really took me back. And right after that, I got well. It was slow. It was a very slow progress. I could do 15 seconds on a treadmill at one time, and then 30 seconds, and then 45 seconds. And over time, I lost that 40 pounds, and I quit the corporate world. I became a personal trainer, nutrition consultant, wellness consultant, all within a 2-year period. So again, yes, I was going aggressively to what I wanted to do, but I knew that I had to do a change and to help other women to do that. And so that was then, and then I'm gonna, like I said, short form this. So I was working at that time in Nashville in a fitness studio, and I was actually sewing classes, and by that meaning just volunteering into our church, my local church that I went to and served in, and teaching nutrition and training and so on throughout the week. And that was great. You know, it was all really good. It was very rewarding to be able to meet with these women one-on-one for nutrition consults and training them and so on, and really sharing, you know, my testimony of where I was and where God brought me. And then it was March 5th, 2013, 3, and I'll never forget it because I was sitting in our home in Brentwood, and I don't know about you guys, but I hadn't been, I was a Christian, but I really wasn't like where you hear people say, well, the Lord spoke to my heart and I heard this and I heard that, and it's like I really never felt like that pertained to me. I'm like, I never really heard him talk to me before. I knew what to do, what was right or not. But that night sitting there, it was so clear, and he spoke to me that I wrote it down, and on my actual notes I still have the time at 8:01 p.m. and so on, and I really felt at that time that he shared with me is that, Cindy, you will break the bondages, the weight off of women. You will, he said, I want you to lead by example and set the path for these women. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like it was so clear, and I'm like, I don't know anything about this. And he told me, yes you do, because you've just walked it out. And I'm like, okay, but there's a million people that lose weight, you know, and start helping others. So I didn't really know at that time how that was going to play out, but obviously he did. Excuse me. So I continued, you know, still I taught at church, and I taught of course in the gym aspect, and then we felt from the leading of the Lord that we were to move to Branson in 2005, and we did do that. Now keep in mind, I'm working in a private studio and I'm teaching at the church, so nutrition and training was all I did, one-on-one consults. We get here, and I don't know if y'all been to Branson, but yeah, it's big, but there's none of that kind of stuff going on. I mean, they had like this ancient gym, and I'm like, where am I going to work? What am I going to do? And so I didn't get into that area, and I worked in a secular sales position, and I was miserable. I was just miserable. I mean, I dabbled in it. I started a home group at someone's home and to help people lose weight, but it was never fulfilling. I knew that wasn't, I was supposed to be doing more. And it was one Saturday morning in October 2009 when I was at a meeting. It always gets me emotional. But I was at a meeting at work, and weird, so weird. Okay, Anna, help now. But I just felt the Lord telling me that you're done. This is what I want you to do. And so I left work that day, that minute actually, and told my husband, this is what I have to do. And I had, in total humility, I mean, I was making over $250,000 a year, and that's a good income to go to zero. But I knew after that day I couldn't do anything else. And so that's how this started that day. It took me until March 2010 was our very first group. And it was in the living room of my house, which is kind of ironic because the limited vision I had, I'm like, well, Lord, how are we supposed to do this, you know? I just thought, oh, we're going to help people here. What, you know, I didn't know. And fast forward, we're now in, gosh, I don't even know how many countries, I think 5. We've helped people in, let's see, in Germany, in Thailand, Canada, US. We've had inquiries now from Haiti, Australia. I mean, it's global, you know, to see what God has done in a short period of time. But anyway, that's weird. I have never done that before. This is weird. Not in that part of it anyway. So right now, I mean, our mission is to meet you guys where you're at. You know, God knows where you're at. Everybody's different. They've had a different walk, a different journey of what brought them to where they are today. And the most important aspect of this program, it's not about losing weight. And as you join this program, you're going to find out it's not. That's such a byproduct. That's going to happen if you follow protocol. That's a given. It will. But the biggest part of it is we want you individually to know as you journey through this, especially towards the end, that you truly believe in your heart that you're all God's called you to be, that you truly know that what His Word says of who you are, that is who you are. It's not somebody else's that way. It's really who you are. to walk in that. And we want, that's the mission from all of us. Every single coach at CBM, even I know we're all women tonight, but we have our men's team and they're awesome. And they speak to the men in a manly, what does it look like to be a godly husband and so on. But for us women, it's like, what does it look like for us to be a godly woman? What does it look like to be whole and complete and really believe in our heart and know that we are who the Bible says we are, and not have self-esteem issues and low self-worth, is that we truly believe that we're a daughter of the King, that we deserve respect and honor and so on. That is our prayer for you guys, and I know for myself and for the coaches who are before you and who we're introducing tonight, that they can honestly say that now, that there were more changes on the inside than there were on the outside. And that's our prayer for you all tonight. And I don't have a time in front of me, so I could be way off right now. So that is where we're from, where I'm coming from, and just a little bit of as far as the mission goes, it's definitely to empower you, and equip each of you with the truth of God, and then also with our vision going forward is we want to help more and more women. There are so many women out there that are hurting and they don't feel like they have hope. They've tried every diet under the world and they don't know what's going to help me, what's the difference. And I really believe that when the foundation is on the Word of God, it's got to help. It's just proven it will. And so to be able to do that, our vision going forward obviously is to help as many as we can. And so in doing that, of course, the very first person would, to be a coach. We want to equip as many certified Grace and Strength lifestyle coaches as we can, because that's what's going to enable us to reach more people. So going forward, that is our vision, to equip as many as we can. The Word says, right, go into all the kingdom, all the world, and preach the gospel. This is the gospel of health. How can you, if you don't have health, how can you do what He's called you to do, right? And so going forward, that is our plan, is to equip as many women. Of course, alumni, you have to go through the program because you can't lead where you haven't been. We do get requests from people that have gone in different genres and want to coach for us, but we don't compromise on that. They have got to go through our program. And so that is our vision going forward, to really equip as many women and men as we can to help spread the word of hope and freedom.